Hello my lovely Librans, thank you so much for tuning into your April reading with me, Lorien. It's an absolute pleasure to bring you these readings each month, and this month we're going to be doing your reading with Druidcraft Tarot, which is an absolutely lovely set of cards. This is going to be a general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. If you are wanting a more detailed reading for your own circumstances, I am available for private readings. If you just want to click on the link below to my website, you'll see every single reading that I can do with tarot cards down below, as well as some extras on the main reading page. If you do want to have a look at your major astrological chart, like your Sun, Moon and Rising, it may give you more information as to what's in store this month. And it can appreciate, this is just a general one, so it will apply to anything. I don't do focused readings on love, particularly this, that and the other. So if it is, for instance, love that you want to have a look at, maybe you'll find the answer if you look at your Venus sign. For instance, Venus in Aries, Venus in Sagittarius, something like that. Or if you have some kind of big meeting coming up, you know, it may be to do with your Mercury sign for communication. We're also going to be doing a rune. I do rune readings every month on Patreon, which you can be a part of by supporting me from as little as $1 there. Every single dollar from that, by the way, goes towards this channel. So it goes towards maintenance for the cameras, maintenance for the cards, new decks, everything. So I don't want you to feel as though me sipping here with a cup of coffee every month. It's mainly to do with the channel. So let's have a look and see. Libra, 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 Libra. Ooh, nice to start. Nope. I don't do reversals. It's a personal preference. Some readers do reversals. I just don't. It's a personal preference for myself. I don't feel it changes the messages that I get. So it's really nothing to do with that. Two of Pentacles. Oh. Ooh, Three of Swords. Okay. Now, the reason I go ooh with the Three of Swords is not because it's, you know, something that I don't appreciate the cards telling me, but normally the Three of Swords represents something like illness or just a third energy getting in the way of some certain things, and it's nothing to be afraid of. That's the main thing for Libra. Look at these great cards here. Somebody for Scorpio, that came out first for Scorpio, I believe, and the rest of the reading was absolutely blinding. It was a perfect, uplifting reading for April, even though that was at the beginning. And somebody said, such a downer to start the month with. It's like, yes, that's correct. But this card does not make up the entire month. You have to take a look at the positives as well. And you have three quarters positive, and then just a little dip of energy at the end. So it's by no means going to mar the entire month. Please don't just think, oh, Three of Swords, April's screwed, may as well just bury myself now. Don't think like that. This is very positive as far as I can see. So long as you get your balance right, this is going to be perfect. Interestingly enough as well, these all look like incarnations of the same woman. Like, it's almost as though it's like an opera of the same character. And as you know, I'm quite a visual reader. I take my cues not only from my guides, but I take my cues from the story within each card. So I'm just going to see what they have to say for me. Okay. There's news on the way, that's for sure. There's news, messages being carried, messages being presented. Okay. You are going to be 3 different people this month. Almost like a chameleon. And I think that's kind of why the Three of Swords is here, actually. 3 different sides of yourself need to come into play. Thank you. Depend on relationships. Right. Clarification. This does not necessarily mean that you have to be dependent, but depend on relationships. For instance, I suppose what they could have said is have faith, but what they said to me was depend on relationships. If you have an important meeting, if you have an important conversation with somebody coming up, or you want to change something, or you're waiting for news. Depend on the relationships you have built with friends to help get you through it. You don't have to depend on yourself alone, and I think that's basically what it is. There's a gravitas to this. By depending on relationships, I feel it's kind of saying you don't have to lean on somebody constantly, but they will be there for you. For instance, there's a community on Twitter dedicated to writing, and people always there making connections and cheering each other on. People depend on those relationships to help them through some difficult times, through rejections, through trials and tribulations. Similarly, if it's your family and you're kind of going through a tough time with a divorce, or still trying to come to terms with something, or trying to improve relationships, or anything like that, depend on the relationships you already have to actually view the other side of your life. But I do feel that you will be 3 people this month. Not a bad thing. So you start off this month with a very strong edge to you. This kind of always reminds me of Freya, actually, because she's quite a, I think it was a husband or a brother, about the hog. And I do feel that it's kind of like you've set down the fight for now. You've put the sword down. Strength does not necessarily come with wielding weapons. Strength is more about how you present yourself, how you feel within. It comes from the inside out. And this particular lady here is very strong. You can tell from her stance that she is very sure of herself, and this may be, even if it's just an image of yourself that you are presenting out to the world. Now, as I'm looking at it in real life, I don't see it, but as I check on the monitor, it's almost like she's got a little patch over her eye. So it's kind of like she's a pirate. So with this, I see that this almost like there's a protection here. There's like this valiant person, there's somebody who's ready for adventure and who's strong enough to seek this out. And I feel this is kind of reliable, this is very intelligent, this is something like a strong familiar aspect of her, which is very good. Princess of Wands brings forwards a nice, almost childlike energy. Not childish, childlike. And I feel that you will be moving down the path with maybe more pizzazz and innocence than before. You have the strength, you know you have the strength, but you don't have to be dour with that strength. You can be very optimistic. You can be like, wow, I've never experienced this before, or let's see what it has in store. Again, she seems like she's on her own, but it doesn't mean necessarily that you can't check in with people that are around you who will help you. And this is something that I think is symbolised. These 3 women are all on their own. Doesn't necessarily mean that you are. I feel spirit are kind of coming around some of you Librans. I'm getting this kind of folded energy, like they're trying to protect you and help you and guide you. Make sure that you tune in to the messages and signals that they're trying to give you this month. But you've been, okay, for some of you, you've been on your own for quite a while. Or you felt like you're on your own. This is not a weakness. This is a strength. This is a strength. But you still have your relationships from some people, which will enable you to go through, but it's your relationship with yourself that means the most, I think. And then here we have balance. This is where the messages come through. This is where the things really do sing. You need to get in touch with you need to get in touch with a part of yourself that maybe was 4 years ago, because here this actually reminds me of something that I saw years ago, and I've only just noticed it. This means that you have messages coming through from the person you were 4 years ago, 3 years ago, before. Listen to the advice and the memories that you may have forgotten about and bring them up. You need to make sure that your health and your mind or your energy and your relationships or whatever are in harmony this month. You don't want to run aground. You don't want the storm clouds to come over you. I think for some of you this could be mental health. So for instance, if you suffer from anxiety, if you suffer from depression, if you suffer from something that you know, you have to take medication for, or you just like to run, or you want to take care of yourself health-wise, you know, bodily-wise, you want to make sure that this is something that you can keep on top of, because you don't want to turn into that. Now, you've got 3 different energies here. You've got strong woman, well, even if you're a male, you know what I mean? Strength, isolation, but still kind of, what an adventure! And you've got, oh crap, I need to kind of balance this. So you've got these 3 different kind of personalities and energies that are trying to kind of vie for your attention this month. You don't want to have these things weigh on your heart and kind of be more draining for you. To be honest, I don't think this is actually going to happen. I just think this is a warning card that they don't want you to really drain so much of yourself here, so you get to that point, if that makes sense. You're on the right way. That's what they just said. You're on the right way. Don't feel fear. You will be helped. So long as you actively help yourself and go within yourself and depend on relationships and talk to people, you know, open that line of communication, I don't see that you'll be too bad, really. So let's have a look and see what it has for Libra. Freya's runes. Okay, let's have a look and see. What do we have for Libra for April? Somebody just said walk on. Walk on. I'm just going to close my... Well, I've already closed my eyes. Who have we got? Ooh! Yes! We have Fehu. Okay. So, Fehu is Freya's rune. And I was just saying, Freya, what's coming up? And like I say, this card, very indicative of Freya. So, Fehu is prosperity. It's abundance. It's luck. It's fertility as well. It's also about creation, foresight. It's basically money, it's protection, it's shielding, because she's a shield maiden, you know, she's kind of like this fierce lady, she's magic, it's spirit, it's the rune I use probably on a weekly basis, on my spells and everything. This is a great rune, Libra. This is such a great rune. The protection of the gods are with you. That's what just came through. The protection of the gods are with you. Make sure that you stick to these 3 things. Balance yourself within them. Commit yourself to the foresight. Okay, have the strength to go on your own so you don't run aground. She's saying to me, stick to your own path. You can depend on relationships, but don't let anybody kind of twist what you need to do. For instance, if you say, oh, I think I'm just going to go to this meeting tomorrow and then I'll leave it at that. If somebody kind of presses you and goes, hey, no, what you need to do is blah, 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 blah. If that doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Don't let anybody sway you, or else you'll run aground and then you'll be like, you dropped all your coins. But it's such a good reading. I mean, I'm Libra rising, so this makes sense to me as well. But yeah, it's an absolutely great month for you. That's just a warning as to whether you kind of overdo yourself. They don't want you to overdo yourself. What they want you most to do is appreciate and soar, basically. That's what's coming through. But let me know how things go for you this month, Libra. I really do feel as though there's such an achievement coming through for you. What is it that you have planned? Do you know what this is referring to? Do you feel as though you're kind of on top of things, or, you know, what kind of relationships do you feel that you'll be depending on? Let me know in the comments below, because I always want to know what's kind of coming through for you. And also, if you do want a reading from me, all you have to do is click the link below. It'll take you to all the different readings of tarot. I do have others available. And also, I would encourage you to, you know, kind of, you know, get back to me if there's anything that, you know, you feel like you want to comment on the readings, like symbols or anything. But yeah, thank you for subscribing, sharing, liking, getting in touch with me, and also for supporting me on Patreon, which the link is down below for you all to have a look at. But I look forward to reading for you in May. I really do, because I think this is going to be a very interesting month and something that you can truly use from April. But anyway, we'll get to that later on. Take care of yourself, Libra, and I'll speak to you soon.